Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hope everyone's doing good. If you can hear us, can you write something in the chat so we know that you're here? We'll just let some people come in for now and just wait a few minutes, and then we'll get started with what we're going to talk about today. Create something to actually do something. If anybody could put something in the chat, that way we just know that we're being heard clearly and you can hear us, then we'll go on with what we're going to talk about with the Stepping Stones program for this year. I just want to make sure it's working properly and we don't need our IT guy to help us to fix the audio, but the audio should be good. I'm hoping so. All right. Well, we'll get started then. I'm not sure if you can hear us or not, but hopefully you can. Just got one thing. You good? Okay, great. Okay, we're gonna get started. If you have any questions that you want to ask us specifically about this program, just send us it, put it in the chat, and when we're going through some of these questions that we have, we'll stop and we'll read it out and we'll ask it. But feel free to. This is what it's for. It's an information session about what Stepping Stones is all about, and we want you guys to understand what the program is, because that's what we want. We want it to be clear. But we want, if you have someone that you know, or you are someone that potentially could come to MBC for a summer away, this is for you. This is for your son or daughter that you might have in mind, and we want you to ask questions so you can know what the program is all about. So this is
Maybe you have friends at school or work too.
Yeah.
That you want to invite and come up for the summer up in Muskoka. It's a beautiful spot to live and work.
Yeah. My name is Noah, by the way, and this is Laura, and we actually oversee the whole Stepping Stones program here at MBC. So we'll get started. We'll get into some questions. And like I said, if you have any questions, just let us know. So what's the first question, Laura?
So our first question is, what is Stepping Stones and what are the three pillars? And why are these three pillars important?
Okay. Stepping Stones is a program that we offer here at MBC. So we have three pillars that we focus specifically on. We have spiritual growth or spiritual formation, work excellence, and community life. We see as an organization, especially with our student program, that one of these pillars factor in life in some sort of way. And so we see it as important to actually focus on these in a lot of ways. So with our work excellence, we have different jobs, as we will learn in a few minutes about what departments we offer. But we have different jobs that we have that you can apply for, and we have different department heads that lead these departments. And so you work. It's a part of what the responsibilities are. We have spiritual formation, which is a big important part of it. We do different chapels. We have a Friday chapel with all of our students. We also have a praise and prayer night where we hear a testimony from one of our students and we worship the Lord through that. And then we also have community life, which is engaging in community, having fun activities, which we will go through some of those activities as we go along. But those are the three pillars that we go for. And like I said, it's important to us because these are three different things that are important to life in general. It's not just here. It's something that you will also go home. It's an important aspect of life. Mm-hmm. And so those are the three pillars.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Thanks, Noah. So our next question is, what roles are available for staff here at MBC, and what departments could you work in? There's also enrollment levels, so I'll explain a little bit about that as well. So we have 16 departments here at MBC that you can work in. Some of those include housekeeping, maintenance, marina. We have our Camp Wajidowin that's reopening this summer. Really exciting. We'll be running 5 weeks of camp for our partner groups down in the Southern Ontario area. Basically, we're bringing up some youth and young adults from different communities there who really could have an amazing week away here in Muskoka. So you'd have the opportunity to work there, cabin lead, run activities for campers. It would really be an exciting spot to work. A few other areas would include our kitchen, dining room, audio visual, recreation department in the campground. So there's a whole plethora of places that you could find to work in depending on your skill set and some areas that you might want to grow in the work excellence aspect of your time here at Stepping Stones. We have 3 different levels of our program here at MBC. So the first level would be frontline. So that would be for our 15 to 17-year-old staff, and they would be coming in to be part of our team here at MBC, washing dishes, serving guests in our dining room, greeting guests at the front office. So there's tons of opportunities if you're in that age range or you know somebody who is 15 to 17 years old. Our next level would be the core level. So that's for 18 to 25-year-olds. And that area of responsibility requires a little bit more leadership. You're able to have opportunities to lead some of the frontline students, which is really exciting. We help you and walk alongside you as you grow in those areas of leadership. And then our final level is the student leadership team, or we call it the SLT program. So that's also for 18 to 25-year-olds. This has a higher level of leadership accountability. So you're learning to lead the cores, the front lines as well, and you're setting an example for those who are on the staff team with you. There'll be lots of training provided for that as well. So that's what we really want to create with the student leadership team program, is an environment where you can help oversee and pour into the community and really embody what does it mean to live as a believer and to work really well at MBC together as a team. And so we want to develop Christ-centered leaders through that program in every level, from frontline all the way to our student leadership team as well. So that would be a little bit about our work program here.
That's great.
So another little thing here, you're probably wondering, okay, this sounds kind of cool. How would I apply to this? So it's really straightforward. Our applications are already open, and you can go to www.muskokabible.com/stepping stones. And there will be a link there. It says apply now. You can just click on that. It'll ask you to set up a quick account, and then you can go through the application. There are a bit of competition because we have a lot of applications coming in. So feel free to get yours in early. Once you apply, you'll be sent a confirmation email that we've received your application. And then if you're selected for an interview, then the department manager will contact you with a time to have an interview, and then they'll communicate with you on a regular basis so they can further the process along, and hopefully you'll be able to come and work here in the summer. So that's a little bit about our application process. So back over to Noah, what is the staff program that we offer here at MBC? What are some of the things that we do for fun? Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like I was mentioning before, Stepping Stones has an aspect that's community life, right? We want people to come in community and meet new friends and meet new people. And we want to have fun events that we plan and run so that it's a camp experience. Camp should have a fun aspect to it. And so we want to provide that for our students as well when we actually are running our program. So some of the stuff that we will be doing, one of the cool things that I really love, and it's going to be really fun, is called the House Cup this year. And it's basically an idea of there's going to be multiple teams, and there's going to be different ways in which you as students, people as students, can earn points towards this cup, this trophy at the end of the summer. But you're working as a team. So it's an individual game, but it's also a team game. And there's different events that we will have that will have points going towards it. But it's also with your work too. We think it's important, right? As we're working in our jobs, that we're doing a good job. We're serving the guests well. And so students will also get points for that. That will contribute to the overall total. And it will make it a fun experience for all. We're going to have a cardboard boat race again this year. This will be the third year that we have it. It's a fun event where you're going to make a cardboard boat.
Legendary.
And it's amazing. And we make a video, and you literally just go in the water, and it's a complete mess, but it's a fun time where students can have a good time. And so we'll have that's one event. We'll have different events. We have like a coffee house that we offer. So it's like a talent show type thing, where people can just do different things, whether if you're like a magician or you like to sing or whatever it may be. We also have campfires. We do manhunt. We do a whole bunch of different things, just as fun events that bring out that camp experience in some sort of way. And then at the end of the summer, we also do a summer end type thing that you'll be able to come to, and we just have a good time. We talk to one another. We eat some food. We give out some prizes and stuff like that for just remembering what the summer brought us. So that's kind of the fun idea of staff program that we are going to be bringing to Stepping Stones in 2023.
And then every fall and winter, we also have a reunion, right?
Yeah.
So that's always a good time to come back up to MBC and see your friends and spend some more time in the Word, learning about the Bible and what it has to say about our life, but also having some fun as well.
That's right. Yeah.
So our next question is training provided for staff? We have a few different training times depending on what level you're enrolled in. So the main one is called Development Week. That's for all of our staff, from the SLT to the core to the frontline levels. Everyone's together. It's a really fun week as well, but we're doing some important training. So you're set up for your work department. You're also set up for living and working in community and investing in the lives of those around you. So in the springtime, we'll have an emphasis on our student leadership team and our core training. We'll have some time for some hands-on learning. There'll be some teaching, possibly from some guest speakers. Noah and I will be doing some instructing as well. And it'll be great. There'll be time to team build and get to know the other SLTs and cores who you'll be working with for about 4 months or so. So it'll be great. The SLT team will also have some pre-summer online training that will be led by Noah and I, and that will be created to explore the vision of what Stepping Stones is, what we're hoping to work on together as a leadership team over the summer, and those will be happening about once to twice a month. Throughout the summer, we'll also be providing some coaching and support for all our staff, of course, but more specifically for our student leadership team, our CLLs, which is our community life team, and also for our cores. Those are our key leaders throughout the summer. So we'll be supporting and guiding and directing through that time as well. So our next question is, what does a regular week look like? Do you want to give us a little info?
Just before that, I just want to, if people have any questions or want to just ask anything, just remember that you can ask in the chat, the top chat, I think it's called, it should be right beside us. So if you have any questions that you want to ask regarding any specific thing that we've already talked about, or maybe it's something we haven't got to yet, just put it in the chat and we'd love to answer your question. Actually, I'll go to one of our questions before we go to the next one. Someone asked us a question. Are there any jobs that are not for a full 10 weeks? And it said for lifeguards with the camp. So we don't have lifeguards specifically with the camp. We have this, Wichitawin's opening up again. So we have a camp and conference side of things. And so one of the things is you'll be able to work at Wichitawin, which is, Laura was mentioning a bit before about it. It's 5-week partnership group churches that are coming up with their kids in marginalized communities around Ontario, Southern Ontario, that will be able to go up to camp. And so there will be some opportunities, since it's only a 5-week time where the camp's going on, there'll be an 8-week contract. So to get ready and to clean up everything. So there'll be opportunities for an 8-week contract. We don't do lifeguards specifically. But yes, there will be 8-week contracts. And if they want to make it a 10-week, they can come to the conference side of things and do different tasks that we need, because students do leave near the end of the summer as well. So That's a good question, though.
And if you're interested in working near the water, we do have roles open at the marina as well. So that would be boating, canoeing, kayaking, helping with the rentals there as well. So if you are a water person, that could be your place to be.
All right. So yeah, the next question was, what does a regular week look like? So depending on when you come, so spring crew is a little different than the summertime. Spring crew, we still are in a retreat season. So we still do make an emphasis on some of these things. So we do have Bible study, which we find is important. It's a co-ed Bible study that will be led by our community life leaders. And we also do different campfire stuff, but we also will have an event in the springtime as well. So if you're an 18 to 25-year-old that's in post-secondary school, that will be for you specifically. It's a bit different type of season than the summertime, but the summertime is obviously as all of our students are here. And so some of the stuff that we do is we have that staff event, House Cup night. It's going to be on Sundays in the afternoon. On Mondays, we have our SLT meetings. So we were talking about the student leadership team. It is something that we will be doing. And we're going to have meetings talking about what's going on with people in their rooms and that. And we want to make sure everyone's feeling heard. And so we're going to have meetings then. We're going to have an optional Bible study in the summertime. And so the reason why we are doing that, is because we want to give students to have the opportunity to make commitments over the summer. We value that. We want, just like any ordinary life, right? We go through different things, and as a Christian, we got to make commitments to things. And so the reason what we're going to do optional Bible studies is because we want students to make a commitment at the beginning of the summer saying, I want to be a part of this. I want to learn more and I want to grow more in my faith. And so that is one big thing that we're going to be changing this year within the summertime, where these students will have that opportunity to make that commitment. So they'll still have chapels and we'll still have different spiritual stuff. That is stuff that we'll be going to, but there will be some specific things that is going to be different. We're going to have a praise and prayer night, which Laura, do you want to just talk a bit about that, what that's going to look like?
Sure. So our praise and prayer night is a time for guests and staff to come together and worship the Lord. So there'll be time for music. We'll have a worship team who will be leading us in song. And also one of our staff will be sharing a testimony with us, testimony of their life, how God's been working in their life. And then we'll also close off with prayer. It wouldn't be praise and prayer without time to pray together. So we'll be gathering together in groups mixed with guests and staff, and we'll be able to pray specifically for the needs in your small group, and even praying for greater needs across our world and also at MBC too. So it will be a great time to connect together with the staff team and with their guests.
And then Friday nights, we're going to have our chapel for our staff at Widgetowin. Actually, this is something new that's going to be happening this year as well. And so we will have a speaker that's going to be probably with our youth men connection with that, who will speak from God's word. And we're hoping to do some type of group afterwards as well, where they'll go over discussion questions with one another and pray for one another. So we really value that here. We want to see this, and that's kind of what a week looks like. We have a question. It says, hi, the arrival date on June 25th might interfere with exams at the end of the semester. Are people who have exams allowed to arrive later? So yeah, if you end up applying and you get accepted into a role, big thing is communication with things. And so as long as you communicate with us in your interview process, and even sending an email to our Stepping Stones email and say that I might be a few days late because I have exams, then we do allow that because we understand school is still going on near the last week of June. So yeah, as long as it's been told to someone, we do definitely allow that.
Yeah, our Stepping Stones email, and we'll repeat this at the end as well if you have any further questions, but our Stepping Stones email is steppingstones, all one word, at muskokabible.com.
Very good question, though. That's an important
great
one.
Question. Great. So a few further questions regarding dates. This is actually perfect timing.
Yeah.
So our next question is, when would I start work? So there's a few dates, so I'll just go through them quickly here, but you can also find them on our website, muskokabible.com/stepping stones. So our first date is when our student leadership team arrives, and that's when our orientation with our team begins for the student leaders, and that's on May 5th this year. So put that in your calendar if you're interested in being part of the student leadership team. May 5th would be the arrival date. So our next arrival date is for our core spring crew. So that's our students coming in 18 to 25-year-olds as well. They'll be starting on May 7th. So just a few days later after student leadership team arrives, May 7th would be the arrival date for core. And then our staff development week for our frontlines, cores, and our SLT team, that starts on June 25th. So that's all of us together. We're all, as I mentioned before, doing training and having fellowship, doing some fun activities, and that all starts on June 25th. Unless, as Noah had mentioned, you're able to communicate with us that we may see you at a later date, and then we'll catch you up on what's needed. But June 25th is our arrival date. And then on July 1st, MBC opens for the summer. It's our official start date, Canada Day. And July 1st is the day that everything kicks off here. So those are our dates for 2023. And if you, as I said, if you want to go back and check those are at muskokabible.com/stepping stones. Our next question, a very important one, is how much do I get paid over the summer? And Noah will give us a bit more information on that.
Yeah, so we have a specific pay chart within the application kit. So if you go on our website, muskokabible.com/stepping stones, you can check out the pay rate on our application kit. I don't remember all the numbers off by heart, but it's there. You can see everything. It's upfront, everything that we do, the deductions that we take off as well. You can see all of it on there. So I encourage you to, before you even apply, to go through the application kit, even the job description sheets in the handbook, and see what different things that we do and what the different positions are like. So you have a better understanding of that before you even apply, even before your interview. So I encourage you to go look into that. And if you're wondering about the pay, it's right on there. You will see on the far right column what you will go away with. You will take away with. I think it can get a bit confusing. So just look at the far right. I'm pretty sure it's bolded as well. So there's that. And another question is, where will I live? So depending on when you come again, if you're in the spring crew, we split between Treetops and Founders. I guess it is similar to the summer, but we split it up because we have different retreat groups still in the springtime that come and might use our main facility, Founders Hall, where our staff typically stay in the summertime. So that does get split. But once the summer hits, most people go to Founders Hall, and there will be some people that live in Treetops, which is another place that's not located far from Founders, that students will also be staying in. So those are the two places. And like I said, that's the pay chart. It's kind of funny. Our question, they knew about the date, June 25th, the arrival of development week. So I can tell, Amber, you have been looking up stepping stones and actually seeing it. So
doing your research. We love that. Yeah. And if you want pictures of the accommodations, there are some up on the website as well. So on that same Stepping Stones page, if you scroll to the bottom, there'll be a section that talks about the housing, and you can see what Founders Hall looks like there. It's like a dorm style room. You have about 4 beds per room. So yourself and a few other staff will be sharing that space. Yeah. So our next question is, what opportunities will I have to grow in my faith? What does spiritual growth look like at MBC? So
we've kind of touched a bit about it on this, so I won't go too much in detail again. So we have our staff chapels, which we mentioned. We have our prison prayer that Flora talked about. We talked about the optional Bible studies and making those commitments. One of the other ones that's optional that it's making that commitment to is our mentorship. It's our check-ins. And so our SLT students, actually part of their program is they will be getting mentored by a full-time staff member. It will be something that they will do, and it's a part of the program. So it is mandatory for them. But for all the other students, for our core and frontline students, it is an optional thing that they will be able to be a part of. It's similar to what the Bible study will be like, where there will be a sheet on orientation week, and we will say you have an opportunity to make a commitment to do check-ins with one of the Stepping Stone students that is older than you, or on a different level position than you. and you'll be able to have conversation and get to know them and talk through life with them. That's a big thing that we want students to do, is meet one another, have these one-on-one conversations, have these tough conversations, these hard questions that you might have. We want that opportunity. So that's a commitment that you can make. And so we really want to make that emphasis that it's not all mandatory stuff. There's some stuff that you will have optional stuff to do. And we hope that you choose it too, right? Because it's a commitment that we should make. But the other thing too is with something, an opportunity that's available to students that we are still working on is counseling services. We really see mental health as a big thing nowadays. It is a huge thing with a lot of people. And so we want to offer something for students with an actual trained professional counselor that they can actually talk to them about. We all go through struggles of some sort. And so we want to provide that to our students so they have a comfortable place where they can actually talk about some of the harder things that have gone on in life, and that they can actually be open to that. So that is something that we're still working on in terms of finding someone. But we're going to try to finalize that before the summer starts. So yeah, that's what kind of the faith aspect of what it's all about. Like I said, we really value this here. This is a big thing that we see. It's a Christian camp. It's a conference center, and God is present. God's working in this place, and we want to see people grow in their faith. It's a big thing. So yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Noah. We have a few more questions, but if you have any burning questions that you're thinking about right now, don't forget to put them in the chat. And as we get towards the end of our session here, then we will answer them. So feel free to keep posting them and thinking about the questions that we're asking. If you have any follow-up ones, we'd be happy to answer those. So our next question is, why should I work at MBC? We've told you a lot of different information pieces about MBC itself, what our staff program is like, but why would you specifically want to come and work here? And so for us, as Noah's already touched on, this is a place where you can come and grow in your faith, come and grow in your work skills, but also come and ask the hard questions. And we want to provide a safe place where you can grow in your faith and be challenged in life. There's not always a lot of places in this world we can do that in a safe way. And so we want to create a place where our staff can come and really enjoy their time, but also grow and learn, especially in this season of life where there's so many things going on and there's a lot of questions you may be asking. What am I going to do with my life? Who are my real friends, and all that kind of thing. So we want to create a safe space for that. Some perks of working here, there's a few, and I think they're pretty great. So you guys as staff members would receive access to the amenities outside of your working hours, things like the canoes and kayaks, utilizing the beach. We have beach volleyball, we have a mini putt, tennis courts if you're into tennis, or pickleball. I don't know, it's not my thing, but some people love it. So if you can find something that's outdoors, we probably have it here. You also get a discount at our bookstore on books and resources, and there's even some snacks in there too, usually before they all run out. I think some of the candies in there ran out so fast last summer, so you got to get in there early to get your snacks. But you get a discount at the bookstore and also our campground store as well. They have our famous Kawartha Dairy ice cream. We're not sponsored by them, but we love their ice cream. We serve that here as well. So you get a few different discounts across the resort itself. And we also offer discounts for parents who come and visit the staff, their kids who are here as staff. And so you get a discount on their accommodation and the food as well. So those are a few perks of the job here. And I mean, besides all that, you get to live in Muskoka for the summer. And I think that's a pretty awesome experience and opportunity that not everyone gets to have. So that is, that's that. Our second last question, and Noah, I'll let you answer this one, is what would be the difference between spring and summer crew? I know we talked a little bit about that. Do you want to go into a bit more detail on what that means?
For sure. The one thing I just want to add to from the last section is, why should I work at MBC? I think the other thing is too, is if you're a parent watching us ball, sending your son or daughter away for a whole summer can be very hard and very difficult. And especially like you might want them to be getting paid more money at like going to Tim Hortons or some other place. And I also want to say to that is there's an invaluable experience for your son or daughter that you can really have by going to camp. It's a different type of community that you don't get at working at Tim Hortons. It's a place where you can make your faith your own. Your child has to make that choice. They have to take that step to follow Jesus. It's not something that it's just because you believe it, but they have to make it themselves. And I think a camp environment really emphasizes that and makes that opportunity available to them as well, to ask those hard questions about faith, but be in a community that's safe to ask those questions and to actually grow in their faith by themselves. There's a level of independence that comes from it too. I think that's a big thing for me when growing up and going to camp is my own personal experience is independence and developing social skills and being able to communicate with people. It's a hard thing sometimes for kids growing up. And this is a place where you have that opportunity to do that as well. And so I just wanted to add that because I know it can be very scary at times sending your son or daughter somewhere, but it's a safe environment where those things can happen and take place. So yeah, the difference between the summer and the spring is it's very different. It's very busy in the summer. There's a lot of stuff going on because we have our different ministries up and running. So we have a 9-week program that has various different things with our different departments like youth ministry, kids ministry. We have an adult ministry. So if you're a parent that has never heard of MBC, you can come for a week or a few days to see your son or daughter as well, like with the discounts that we were talking about, and experience what a summer looks like, what programming looks like at MBC. That's a big thing. But our springtime, it's really getting ready for the summer. We have a lot of stuff that we have to do. So if you apply for Spring Crew, you might specifically apply for like for example, youth ministry. You might not be working youth ministry every day in the spring because we have different departments that might need you for different things because our youth ministry isn't up and running then. Yes, you will do some youth ministry in the springtime to get prepared for the summer, but it will not be every day. And so there will be housekeeping, there will be food service stuff, there will be maintenance that you might be working in besides your actual thing. But by the time the summer comes around, you'll be doing youth bin the whole entire summer. So that's just kind of a general idea. It's much more getting ready for the summer. The summer is a big time for MBC. It's an exciting time because a lot of people come up, different families where a lot of memories are made, right? And so we need to get prepared for that in a lot of ways. And so it's really getting prepared. We still have a program for that staff, the Stepping Stones, that I have went over a bit. But that's the big difference between it. There's retreat season still in the springtime and we're getting ready for the summer, and the summer comes. That's when the program allows it to go, and we do all our ministry programming within the summer. So it's a fun time. It's a good time to meet new people. Spring Crew, especially if you're an older person, you really get to know people on a different level that maybe not even be in your department, but you really create great friendships with people your age. And even in the summer too, for frontline students, you still have that opportunity to do that with people in your room. You live with other people. I don't know if we mentioned that, but in Founders, you will be living with other people. You'll have cores in your room, SLT possibly, and other frontlines that you'll be living with. So it's not like you're living by yourself in a room. You have about 2 to 3 people in your room with you. So it's a fun time. It's a great time to just get away for the summer and to really experience a camp and a place where you can maybe even come for a few summers. You might end up loving it so much that you come again. But the thing is how are you ever going to know if you don't come to camp? That's a big thing, right? You need to experience it. You got to take that step and say, you know what, I'm going to apply. Because the thing is maybe it's not for you, but applying doesn't hurt, right? You can apply and say, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna, but hey, maybe you want to come to camp. Maybe you want to try it out for the first time. I think you should. It's a good experience.
That's awesome. Yeah. And both Noah and I have really been impacted by camp over the years. So I think you got to try it out. You never know what you're missing until you actually step into it and try it yourself. So from both of us, we'd encourage you to apply. Just a reminder where you can apply. It's muskokabible.com/stepping stones. And there's an apply now button on the screen right as that page loads. So feel free to apply there. If you have further questions, I don't think we have any more in the chat right now, but if you do have further questions for us, you can email us at the Stepping Stones email, which is steppingstones, all one word, at muskokabible.com. So we look forward to hearing from you. Any final words or thoughts, Noah?
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know where you're at right now. Some of you might be like, I don't know what I'm doing this summer. I don't know what's going on, right? I don't know the next step. Even in your life, maybe you're like, I have no clue what I'm going to do after high school. Those are all questions, right? And we want you to come here because it might be a next step that's actually a good transition to something else. It's a great opportunity for that. And so I trust that if you feel the Lord's calling you to apply, even apply to MBC, I would do it. Like I said, it doesn't hurt to apply. You do not need to come here. It does not mean that it's going to happen. But applying is where you need to start. And so I trust that you'll make a decision to apply if you really feel like the Lord's calling you to do that. But I hope to see you here this summer as well, as we really see how God works in people's lives. It's an exciting time at MBC when we see students' lives being impacted in so many different ways. And so I trust that you'll make those decisions. And just thank you. I want to thank you for coming to this.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And just hearing about Stepping Stones. And like we said, if you have any questions, just email us at thesteppingstones@muskokabible.com. All the best. Have a good night.
Great. Good night.